Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Global Salvation Prophecy Station. I have a few updates here for you today. But first, I want to tell you where the gospel can be found, and that's 1 Corinthians 15, verses 1 to 4. And the ABCs of salvation: hey, admit you're a sinner, believe Jesus is Lord, and call upon his name. All can be found in the book of Romans. So I have a few updates here for you. The city of Mariupol in the Ukraine has fallen to Russia. Now, this happened yesterday. Russia has now taken over Mariupol. Russia has attacked from the east and the west and took the city. Ukraine soldiers have surrendered and have been taken into custody by the Russian military, and the wounded have been taken to a Russian hospital for treatment. The Ukrainian soldiers will be exchanged for captured Russian soldiers. So the city of Mariupol has fallen, and it has gone to Russia. So, two senior U.S. defense intelligence officers said on Tuesday the Pentagon is committed to determining the origins of what is called unidentified aerial phenomenon. So they're starting to talk about UFOs now. We mentioned this months ago that this was going to happen, and it's said that it's a way to explain the rapture away in the future when the rapture happens. And they are now starting to put out disclosures and telling people that it is a real thing and so on and so forth. So it's mind conditioning again. And we all know that it's not aliens, it's the demonics and stuff like that. So the common term used is UFOs, but acknowledgement by many others to remain beyond the government's ability to explain exactly what it is. The two officials, Ronald Moultrie and Scott Bray, appeared before the House of Representatives Intelligence Subcommittee for the first public U.S. congressional hearing on the subject in a half a century. It came 11 months after a government report documented more than 140 cases of unidentified aerial phenomenon, or what they call UAPs, that U.S. military pilots had observed since 2004. The Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence said the number of UAPs officially cataloged by the new former Pentagon task force has grown to 400 cases, but officials chose to word their findings carefully in describing the task force work, including the question of possible extraterrestrial origins. Bray said defense and intelligence analyst has not ruled that out. He did say that we have no material, we have detected no emanations within the UAP task force that would suggest that there's anything non-terrestrial in origin. The 2021 report, a 9-page preliminary assessment by the officials of Director of National Intelligence and a Navy lead task force, said 80% of UAP incidents is reviewed, were recorded on multiple instruments. Both officials pledged that the Pentagon would follow the evidence wherever it leads and made clear that the primary interest in addressing possible national security threats. We know that our servicemen members have encountered unidentified aerial phenomena, and because the UAP pose potential flight damage and general security risk, We are committed to focus an effort to determine these origins, said Moultrie, who oversees the latest Pentagon-based UAP investigation team. As U.S. Defense Undersecretary for Intelligence and Security, Bray presented 2 UAP video clips. One showed flashing triangle-shaped objects in the sky, later determined to be visual artifacts of light passing through night vision goggles. Others showed a shiny object zipping past a military aircraft cockpit window. An observation Bray said remained unexplained. The 2021 report included some UAPs revealed in previous release Pentagon videos of objects exhibiting speed and maneuvering exceedingly known as an aviation technology, and lacking any visual means of propulsion or flight control surfaces. Bray said those incidents, including one described by the Navy pilot as resembling flying tic-tac breath mint, are among cases that are still categorized as unresolved. They are real, Subcommittee Chairman Andre Carson stressed the importance of taking the UAP seriously. He said the UAPs are unexplained, it's true, but they are real, Carson said, raising concerns that Pentagon officials have previously focused on low-hanging fruit cases that are relatively easy to explain while avoiding the ones that cannot be explained. On top of everything else that is going wrong, we have now to deal with aliens. Okay, so we mentioned this in the previous video that there is a diesel fuel shortage and a national-wide electricity shortage is coming. One person wrote that I never imagined that I would be writing about such things in the middle of 2022, but here we are. I discussed the potential electricity shortage in a moment, but first I want people to know and to understand how seriously a widespread diesel shortage would be. Without diesels, our trains and trucks don't run, and if they don't run, supply chains completely and utterly collapse. So even a moderate shortage would be absolutely paralyzing to the economy. Unfortunately, supplies are rapidly dwindling, and we are being warned that a global diesel shortage that will shock people could begin as soon as next month. So they're looking at this, we are really going to see effect of this in June. We are looking at a nightmare in terms of global diesel shortage that will shock people starting June. Diesel inventory on the East Coast is 18 million, about a 3-day demand. As of today, we will run down to sub 10 million. Major trucking fleets across the eastern half of the U.S. are already receiving text alerts telling them to keep their tanks full as they prepare for an imminent diesel shortage, according to logistics firm FreightWaves. Yeah. So meanwhile, we are also being warned of a potential electricity shortage in the United States in months ahead. WSJ explains grid instability and increased risk of power shortages this summer comes as fossil fuel power plants are being retired more quickly than they can be replaced by renewable energy and battery storage. Yeah, that's no surprise. Power grids are racing to retire conventional power plants fuels that is fueled by gas, coal, and diesel to green forms of energy such as solar power, wind, and they're also retired in aging nuclear power plants. So yeah, it's all a setup, but we are facing to retire controversial power facilities in the midst of glo- growing global energy crisis. That doesn't make any sense at all. One writer said, it seems that we have a long, hot summer ahead of us, and major blackouts could apparently happen at any moment, which will cause people to not have ACs and that, which then will create um, people becoming sick and ending up in hospitals and that because of heat stroke and things related to the hot heat, of course, and that do create each year a loss of death and sickness. So we could imagine what it's going to be like. And they say that the sun and everything is eating up, the herd is eating up. I mean, that's been happening since day one, but I mean, I'm not a global warming person by any means, but the global warming has been happening for years and years. I mean, them taxing us is not going to make any difference to that. But yeah, with the heat that we're supposed to have a hot summer across the countries and across the globe, really, and now for those who's going to have blackouts in it, yeah, it's going to cause chaos for sure. So, guys, in Shanghai has achieved its long-awaited milestone of 3 consecutive days with no new COVID cases. Outside quarantine zones, but most residents will have to put up with confinement for a while longer before resuming more of a normal life. Meanwhile, North Korea has mobilized its military to distribute COVID medications and deploy more than 10,000 health workers to help trace potential patients. Sri Lanka's parliament reconvened for the first time since the violence flared last week, and the prime minister quit, as his replacement warned that the country was in a precarious economic situation and down to its last day of petrol supplies. So there's a few things that's going on in the world. Clashes erupt in Libya's capital as the parliament appointed prime minister tried to take over the government there, but was forced back by a rival administration that refuses to cede power. Iran-backed Hezbollah and its allies have lost their majority in Lebanon's parliament in a general election. And Reuters tells us that the tally of final reports shows a major blow to the heavily harmed group. The number of people officially listed as disappearing in Mexico has risen to more than 100,000. The government data shows as family groups call on authorities to do more to find victims of violence linked to organized crime. That's been happening for a while in Mexico, apparently, and yes, no doubt it's getting worse. Hundreds of people across the capital and the southern cities went to hospital with breathing difficulties in an Iraq sandstorm that disrupts schools and flights, and as the largest in an unprecedented number of sandstorms that has hit the country recently, and it's only getting worse. So Iraq is seeing increase in sandstorms, and they are more seems to be more powerful of a storm than what they normally have. So things are really opening up around the world, guys. There's so many things going on while they try to occupy you with the Johnny Depp trial and things like that. But we also have the Roe versus Wade thing that's supposed to be happening too, and we hope and pray that that do get overturned, but we shall see what happens. But no doubt, all these storms and things, and we had a blood moon lately and stuff like that. It's all prophecy, and we are living in the last days, guys. So I try to bring you these updates and that just to let you know, give you some idea of where we are in the last days according to prophecy. So that's it for today, guys. I will be back again with some more updates. Maybe tomorrow, if not, well, the next day, hopefully for sure. Again, with work and everything, and I am a youth pastor at a church, and that so it do keep me busy, and I can only get on air from time to time, but I want to focus more on air, so I'm doing the best I can for now, and hopes to put more time in the near future with these updates and that. So, as we say at the end of each video, we'll either see you here or in the air. God bless and have a great day.